welcome to my channel Reeperbahn TV, where we talk about the then and now of Hamburg's red light and entertainment district. Today we are visiting Hamburg's old Elbpark, named after the river Elbe, which flows through the city. The park is directly adjacent to both the Reeperbahn and the Holy Spirit Field, home to St. Pauli Football Club. We are going there because it is home to the world's largest Bismarck statue, which has just been restored. Controversially, the restoration of the world's largest Bismarck memorial in memory of Otto von Bismarck, the founding father of modern Germany, has just been completed at a cost of €6 million. Yet, 3 months after being reopened to the public in the summer of 2023, having been fenced off for a number of years, the process is throwing up more questions than answers. For example, why has the 665-ton monolith been reopened to the public in the absence of a single piece of information about the statue? 3 months after reopening, there is currently no sign, no placard, no board, nothing. Why has the area in front of the monument not been made more welcoming? 3 months after reopening, the area in front of the plinth remains an uneven and at times muddy mire. Why is there a complete absence of illumination come nightfall, at a time when it is reasonable to presume that the monument is most at risk of being spray painted? However, having spoken to the local council, Hamburg Mitte, one key piece of information has made the whole process much more comprehensible. Over the decades, due to the poor condition of the monument, the council was repeatedly asked the same question: when will the Bismarck monument finally be restored? However, nothing was ever undertaken, that is until 2012, when the central government decided to make €6.5 million available to restore the monolith. However, and this is key, the money was only designated for the renovation of the monument. At the same time, a public debate broke out which questioned whether restoring the monument was the right thing to do. This debate was further intensified by the Black Lives Matter movement, which questioned the celebration of certain political figures in memorials, especially those, like Bismarck, who had played an active role in colonialism. The result was a schism in the whole restoration process. While the money from the central government would restore the statue physically, the local council would attempt to restore the statue symbolically by trying to recontextualise its significance. After many workshops with international experts, a €15,000 design competition was organised, aimed at decolonialising the statue by making the invisible visible, in other words by breaking the perceptions of the monument, thus setting an example for the necessary future development of remembrance culture. At the same time as the monument was being reopened to the public, the Museum for Hamburg History displayed the many entries In the end, an independent jury of experts found that none of the entrants were able to fulfill all of the criteria of the competition, made more difficult by the nature of the monument, which, due to its listed status, cannot be altered physically. As a consequence, the council has shifted the focus of the process towards mediation and social discourse, though exactly what form this will take is not entirely clear. This brings us up to the present day. After I spoke with Enno Isermann from the Department of Culture, he said the following: an information board will be erected. However, due to the delicate nature of the monument, this has to be carefully considered. Likewise, the front of the monument will also be made suitable for purpose. Although the monument already has lights, these were not part of the restoration process, thus the question of illumination is still to be clarified. On the subject of video surveillance, the question is, who is going to monitor such videos? However, With or without lighting, with or without surveillance, the graffiti sprayers won't be deterred. To conclude, it seems that whilst work on the monument has almost been completed, minus a few minor repairs due to water seeping through the joints, the task of putting the monument into an acceptable modern-day context is very much ongoing. As you can appreciate, it can take years to film and weeks to put together such videos, so if you are getting value out of the content, then please click the subscribe button to support the channel and allow me to make more videos. Cheers. Finally, for those interested in learning more about the Reeperbahn, then I recommend my book Reeperbahn Tour, a location history of an entertainment district. Imagine the scenario. You wake up in St. Pauli still in a state of fermentation from the previous evening, having had breakfast which consisted of a cup of coffee, a paracetamol sandwich and a good cough. With a few hours to spare, you decide to take a stroll before you can reasonably expect to repeat the excesses of the night before. However, with no clear source of orientation, you don't know where to go or what to look at, let alone where to start. This is where the Reeperbahn Tour book comes in. As a one-stop source of information, this guidebook offers various themed tours, though you could actually start at any page in the book. The tours include things such as the history of street names as well as film and music locations, including of course every location the Beatles played at. Each tour takes you around a series of locations which share a common theme. A double page is then dedicated to each location, the address of which acts as the title at the top of the page and can be quickly found with a smartphone, though almost all of the locations are in the immediate vicinity. On the left-hand page of this spread, the text puts the location into its historic context and present-day context. On the right-hand page, one historic and one recent photo contrasts how that particular location has changed over time. The most important locations enjoy multiple texts which also have multiple photos. Best of all though, with more than 175 pictures, including almost all of St. Pauli's most important historical images, which have all been colorized, this stunning large format book also serves as the perfect memento once your visit is over. For more information, visit reeperbahnTV.com. Thanks for watching. Until next time.